How do you take a photo of a toy? There are quite a few ways to do it. And why am I asking you this question, you might be wondering? We are a community of photographers who take part in photography challenges through Instagram. We host a new challenge once a quarter, which consists of 3 rounds. Round 1, which is this round, generally is taking and submitting a picture of a thing, for example, a bridge or a tree. Round 2 is usually a photography technique, such as high-key, triptych or off-camera lighting, and many of us have tried out new elements of photography for the first time together and developed our skill. And round 3 is generally an open round. Coming back to toys, which is the theme of round 1 of our challenge, and the only time I photograph toys is to take photos to sell them on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, and perhaps you're the same. It's not something I normally do. For our challenge, we need to know what a toy is and what our challenge is expecting. Merriam-Webster lists toy as all sorts of things. For example, you can toy with something in your mind, you can toy with something in your hand, and most importantly, toy is often described as a miniature item that a child would play with, and that is the definition we have in mind for the challenge. Of course, you can have adult toys, but I'm not sure those toys are quite appropriate for our challenge. There's also the difference between a model such as this or this. However, despite these items considered as models, to children, these are toys to play with, and that's okay for us, as well as board games. And despite these being games rather than toys, our challenge will allow photos of these too. Board games opens up your opportunities for a photo, and you can design all sorts of dramatic shots of a Monopoly board you may have in your attic. And likewise, toy figures opens up a world both within your home studio and also taking them out on locations and getting realistic action shots. Without me taking up your ideas for a photo of a toy, in its simplest form, the toy you might use is a Lego figure, and you can take a picture of it like product photography in your home studio. For this test image of a toy, and I've got Thomas the Tank Engine on a bit of track, and that is actually my Thomas the Tank Engine train, and I've got Thomas there. I've got a bit of room in front of Thomas so he can go into that bit of room there, so you can imagine Thomas moving across the rails. I've got a nice shadow at the bottom, so I've got a nice sort of reflective kind of shadow at the bottom, and I'm currently on 1/250th of a second, f2.8 and ISO 200, because that's the lowest this camera will go. And I'm also on the 2-second timer, so I'm just going to take this shot now. It's got face detection, that's quite nice with this camera. It detects that's Thomas's face, so it'll focus particularly on his face, which I think is quite cool. So I'm going to press that button, 2 seconds, and then we'll have a shot. And we can see that shot, it doesn't look terribly good. It looks a bit grey, it looks like the white balance is off, etc. But I'll just update that. I'll correct that white balance in post-production, and hopefully that will come out as a nice shot. And that will be my first picture of a toy, and a really simple picture of a toy in my little home studio, and you could do exactly the same thing. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll leave a link to the challenge in the description below. And best of luck with your challenge image. Once again, thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.